We wanted to build a church for the next generation. We wanted to think of the people in our region and their time and place and figure out how they could participate in the mission of God, in the mission of Jesus, across time, across the universe. This huge idea we wanted to bring down to a specific context. Then we thought the best way to do that is to actually listen to the people in our region, the people in our church, and ask them what they want to do. How do you want to participate in what God is doing in the world? The map is based on the summary of their thinking and our discernment together. We came up with goals based on listening to one another, and that led us and guided us this year in what we wanted to do. They've been in line with our mission and vision, and they also correspond to our five-year goals as well. The best way to include people in the work of God is to actually listen to how they want to accomplish it. You'll find throughout this whole document and video even how we've taken steps towards accomplishing our goals this year and where we ended up, how it's working. So this is intended to be a report to you, but also an invitation to you to participate in the work. This shows you how the church has been working, and maybe you will find your place in our work too by viewing this and by engaging in it. There is room for all of us to participate, and all of our participation, all of our thoughts, all of our actions matter. You have an opportunity then to follow God with us by participating in our communally decided, organically developed ideas and map. So I'm glad to do this with you. I'm happy we're moving with God together.
We had a goal this year to cross boundaries, to make new friends, because there are so many boundaries and barriers in our society that keep people separated and in isolation. And we know that relating face to face is the best way to get people next to Jesus. So we had people into our homes, we shared meals together, we gathered across the region in different ways. We're also trying to do it with our buildings. Ridge Avenue has been looking for a bigger, better space for our Sunday meetings, and God provided a great spot in Germantown. We just had a splash party and welcomed 140 people came. Frankfurt Ave has a facade project in the works. South Broad created this beautiful streetscape to communicate their welcome and hospitality. But as a whole church, we're also trying to do this beyond our personal reach. We know that people are online, and so we're creating doorways for people to connect to us online. We've created videos about our compassion teams and questions that people have asked to try to share our heart and give people an impression, or at least a glimpse at who we are and what God is doing among us. So we hope to connect to more people and keep crossing barriers in this next year.
We wanted to create more opportunities for dialogue that unites us in the radical way of Jesus, because the radical way of Jesus really does unite us in this separate space that's not over here and over here. It's this new place that Jesus is making. And it's an alternative, and the world needs that because it's so split up, and Jesus' love unites us, and our dialogue is the way that we do it. So we were talking a lot this year. We talked about our love and welcome for LGBT folks in our new Proverbs. We were talking in our all cellular trainings about identity politics, sex, work, Anabaptist biblical interpretation, building a rebellion, and how we use technology to do kingdom things. We also have the seminarians cohort, which is this other place of really rich dialogue. They were talking about guns, check out the link. They were talking about artificial intelligence, insiders and outsiders, with my favorite show, AD, The Kingdom and Empire, and even the theology of work with Miroslav Volf. People don't talk about stuff like that. People don't talk the way that we do. Like I said, it's in our cells and in our Sunday meetings, but it's also in all these places we were celebrating. Oh, last place that I don't want to forget is Village Parenting Day. It was a big success at the end of last year. Hopefully we'll have another one of those in the fall. So let's keep the dialogue going. I think this is part of who we are.
So spiritual formation is a group project, and we really wanted to amplify that this year because there's so much that we can learn from each other. And we were thinking of doing it in 3 major ways. The first being telling more stories of transformation on our website, in our Sunday meetings, and through whatever else we came up with. And one of those things we came up with was a compassion storytelling event where we got to hear from the leaders of the compassion teams about the good work that the teams are doing. Secondly, we wanted to create a treasure trove of resources for our cell leaders to use. And we were slow to get that going, but we finally did get it off the ground, and we have plans to keep adding to it in this new year. And finally, we wanted to create more resources for going deeper. And so our Gifts for Growing really gained some traction this year with retreats and workshops for developing in ways that we need psychologically, emotionally, relationally, financially. And one highlight for me recently was our comfort retreat, where someone found us online and she showed up really, really needing the comfort of the Lord because her son had died recently. And she said as soon as she walked into the room here on South Broad, she felt like God was with her. So let's keep amplifying spiritual formation as a group project.